Hello, everyone. This is the third episode of THINKKINGS, titled Rush Minute. Hope you guys get the reference.
If for people that are not watching,
Yes.
we're dressed as Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan from Rush Hour.
Yeah. And this is sort of a parody. Yeah, it's like a
we call ourselves Rush Minute.
Yeah, because we're like, we're not. Yeah, this is like pretty cool. Very funny. We actually like that's like one of the things we were thinking of. I think that one time we were brainstorming ideas for our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is one of the things that we talked about for a little while.
Yeah, we were thinking about that a long time.
Yeah, so this is for Halloween.
Yes.
And we will be talking about
pretty much superstition, stories, cultural differences in I would say Halloween or things related to Halloween.
Yeah.
But are not maybe quite exactly Halloween, but have to do with the culture of the different countries that we're associated with. Mm-hmm. So the Haitian culture, the Cuban culture.
And we're probably also going to be talking about we're talking about the Hmong culture as well.
Yes.
Some of the things in the Hmong culture.
Yep.
And then we'll also talk about a little bit of our past experiences with Halloweens.
Yeah.
Because that's important to back on memory again.
Yeah, memory. So the first thing that we're going to do is try to talk about Halloween, like what it is, because Halloween doesn't exist in our cultures. You know, like being Cuban, I am Latin American, and the closest thing would be like Dia de los Muertos, but that's a Mexican holiday. It's not really like Cuban, so we don't really have that.
I don't really know if there's like a Halloween for Hmong people.
Yeah.
I can't really think of any holidays in general that we like to do. I just can only think of like traditions for certain events.
Yeah. Me too. It's something. I mean, I can think of like cultural things, and that could be associated with the dead or something like that. But before we get into our differences in culture, we want to talk about what Halloween is, like the origins of Halloween. So, according to history.com, I found out that Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. The Celts, who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in the area that is now Ireland and the United Kingdom and northern France, celebrated their new year on November 1st. This day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter at a time of year that was often associated with human death. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting fact to know about. Now, let's see. Since this episode, we will be sort of talking about cultural things, superstition, some of them. I kind of wanted to briefly mention something. This was something that I was talking to my parents about. One of my dad, he's a cultural anthropologist, so he was sort of the person that really told me about this and sort of helped me come up with this idea. Not necessarily an idea, but mostly how was I going to really talk about superstition? Because, and again, this is another definition online for what superstition is. Superstition is a belief that is not based on reason or scientific thinking, and that explains the phenomenon of like something, right? That we're not really, we might not have evidence, so we don't really know why this is happening, right? And so, this would pretty much say that anyone that believes in anything that isn't scientifically based is superstition. Like that's how I like to picture it. And that is why when I think of superstition, I think it has to do more of the culture of someone and, the cultural differences, because everyone has their own cultural belief and they have beliefs in certain things. It means that, as part of their identity, we shouldn't probably say that, they're not real, because people believe different things.
Yeah. So more like we're talking about just different cultural beliefs in relation to our today's topic.
Yes.
Which is just Halloween related.
It's Halloween, yeah. So, Jake, you want to take it away with?
Do you want Do you want me to go first?
Yes, you can go
with
first.
my stuff.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what we want to talk about first, like the
Well, you have
superstition / beliefs, or
superstition.
should I talk about the 2 stories that I have?
Start with the 2 stories that you have.
All right.
Those are long.
So I'll do the first story first.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So back in Laos a long time ago, or still right now too, because it's Laos, but Hmong people, they live very far away from each other, and they didn't have, I don't know what this current situation is totally, but transportation is a little hard. So people would have to walk to each other in order to see them. And so this story is basically about a couple and a ghost lady. And so there's this couple and this boyfriend and this girlfriend. And so the boyfriend leaves for a little while. I don't know what to. I am blurry on that part because I don't really know the full story in detail.
Yeah.
But the boyfriend leaves for a little while, and the girlfriend, just because she missed the boyfriend so much and hasn't seen him in a long time, she passes away and she dies. And after she died, she would actually come and haunt the village that she lived at and stay there until the boyfriend would eventually come back and visit. And so the boyfriend came to visit her, and he saw that the village was quiet and eerie and not full of like anyone at all, but he saw some people on the way back, and he asked the people where his girlfriend was, and they said that she passed away, and he didn't believe her. And so, I mean, what am I saying? He didn't believe them.
Yeah.
And so he went on anyways and went to her house. And it was getting dark, and he finally made it to his girlfriend's house because they lived very far away from each other. But and it seemed like no one was home, but then the girlfriend opened the door. And because there's no electricity or anything, there's just a fire like that's just in the house. So he goes in there, it's dim lit. He can't really see anything really other than the fire. And he asked her where everyone went, and she basically said that everyone in the village went to go farm, or to the farm. And she's the only one that's house sitting. And then they shared like a hug, but then the boyfriend noticed that she felt really cold. And so he asked her to go sit by the fire. But the girlfriend was like, oh, we haven't seen each other in a long time. You might not like how I look now. And so she was hesitant to go sit by the fire. And she sat kind of far from the fire so that so that the boyfriend couldn't really see her. But her blood felt like she was like dripping blood. And the blood would drip into the fire, and kind of the fire would like grow or spark. And as the blood kept on dripping from her body, he got a glimpse of her, and she looked a little weird, rotted, and a little bloody. Not to get graphic,
Yeah.
but that's how she looked. But he wasn't really sure what was going on. And so he told her to come and sit closer. But she kept on giving him the same excuse that she was like a little shy, she didn't want to get close. Then some of the more blood dripped in the fire, and finally he could see that she's like no longer like looks like a human.
Yeah.
It's more like she just looks like a corpse or like a shell of what she used to be. And now he's like freaked out, but he doesn't really know what to do. And so he does what anyone does
Run.
like a date.
Not run?
He asked to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But he needed to use the bathroom, and so and since they haven't seen each other for a while, the girlfriend's like, oh, don't go too far away, and like you just go to the bathroom like over there, like close by. And he's like, that would be kind of like weird. And so, but he said if she doesn't trust him, he'll do this. So people back in the day, they had like traditional clothes. they had like this sash or this belt, cloth belt. And so he had the belt, and he said that he would tie one end to her and one end to him, so that she would know that he's still attached to her.
Okay.
And so he did that, and he left and went outside. And back when people had to walk far and long and go on for long trips, they would always have like a water bottle, this kind of water bottle, the small water bottle. But anyways, he walked out into kind of like the woods, and he opened up he used the water bottle to make it sound like he was peeing, and he tied his cloth belt to a tree and left his water bottle dripping, so it sounded like he was peeing. And then after he finished tying the cloth around the tree, he ran as fast as he could away from the house.
Dude.
Because, oh my god,
yeah, I know.
That would be freaky.
I would run too.
But the thing is that he was out for so long, and he made a couple land away until the girlfriend actually realized that he's like not coming back for some reason. He's taking a little too long. And so she finally thinks that he actually ran away and starts chasing after him.
Dude.
Starts chasing him up
Is she,
the hills,
was she, like,
down the hills.
flying or something?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. But she finally caught up to him and called to him, but he didn't answer. Or, well, she chased him while he ran all night. Finally, it was morning, and the boyfriend could kind of see now, and because he was just running in the dark. He didn't know where he was like going. But he started heading to the farm, and he saw people heading to the farm. So he followed those people, and he went up to the people, and he asked them for help. And so they helped him back to the farm or where he lived. And then after that, they got like a shaman to like change his name, because if you change your name, it's like you're a different person, kind of. And so that the ghost girlfriend would not find him anymore. Yeah. And so that kind of ties in. I think that's where kind of like the end of the story is. He changes his name, and she never finds him again. Yeah. So I think afterwards, there's like the one day where the man's just doing whatever, and his friends accidentally say his old name, and the girlfriend actually finds him and takes his spirit with her. And so that's like a different like ending. It's like an extra ending or extended ending. But basically, that goes into a little bit of the belief that if you're walking at night, or you're walking alone for some reason, if you ever hear someone calling your name, never to acknowledge it, otherwise they'll be able to come and steal your soul. Ooh. And so that's like my first story. Yeah, first story. And then you should probably go so that I'm not talking forever.
All right. Well, I think I will talk about a few things in the Caribbean culture, especially like the Haitian culture, because that's what my dad really knows about. He's again a cultural anthropologist that he's mostly studied the Haitian culture a lot, and my mom also told she knows a lot of stuff about the Haitian culture as well, being Haitian herself. And so let's see, one of the things that came to me was like the belief in Haiti of how powerful twins are. So like twins, and this also goes back because of this also relates to the African culture, from Africa, but this belief mostly comes from the west part of Africa, and that is like twins are very powerful, like they have a very powerful spirit, and in the families, if let's say your family or you inherit like a twin spirit or something like that, you have to sort of worship them and give them attention because they can get jealous, and they're also very demanding, which they're twins. So if they are jealous, you give one a thing, the other one will want it for sure. They're demanding because they're like two of them. So and so And another interesting thing I learned in the Haitian culture, if the twin is like sick, if let's say one of them is sick, the other one knows how to like cure him or something like that.
That's interesting.
Like if let's say we were like twins, I would know what to give you so you can heal or something.
Yeah, we're twins.
Yeah,
just kidding.
Yeah. From another mother and another culture. But pretty much, that is like pretty cool thing. It's like, okay, they like know each other. They have a special connection. And I mean, even going beyond the cultural sense of it, there have been stories even where, let's say, people are not, they are twins and they're separated at birth, and somehow they can feel the same thing that they're feeling or know each other, you know, even though they were never raised in the same place. So that's a very cool thing about the twin, the like twin spirits, or just having twins. Another thing pretty interesting about the Haitian culture is that if you, let's say you like pee or something like that, you just pee, right? If you spit on your like pee, it protects you from someone stealing your soul away from you, which is, I don't know why.
Yeah, how do you make sense of that?
Yeah, how do you make sense of that? But it's like culture somehow.
It works.
Spit on it. It works. Another cool one is, and this has actually worked somehow. I don't know why, but if a kid has like hiccups, you take a thread from their clothes, right? You put the thread in your mouth, make it into a ball, and you put it on their forehead, and the hiccups go away. And this actually, like, this happened to me. I did that, and it actually went away somehow. Don't ask me why. It went away. Some things people do, they have no like explanation for it, but it somehow works. And I, you know, if you ask me, culturally speaking, people do that, so it works. It works. They're gonna do it. What else? This has to do with the aspects of the Haitian culture that has to do more with like spirits, I would say. So for those that know about what they call voodoo, right? I would like to clarify something. So voodoo is actually a dance, you know, that is done in I think the spiritual ceremonies. It's not the actual like culture of, you know, like in Haiti there's the voodoo rites. That is not really it, because like in the Haitian culture, you know, people worship, or I would say they connect with spirits, like especially their ancestors a lot, which has a lot of roots in Africa, right? And a thing I was going to say is that in Haiti there are certain trees that people won't cut down because it is believed that they can channel spirits. So you know, you can find spirits, like people believe you can find spirits in certain places or from certain things like rocks or, you know, things like that. There's like spirits of the water or of nature, sort of like sometimes when I think in the Native American culture you can find that, I think, you know, people who worship trees or something like that. You know, there's different kinds of spirits. So that is one thing I wanted to talk about. So yeah, there's a few things. So I was going to mention something else, but you can continue with story number 2. Or right, I don't know if you have any comments about this.
Not really, other than like the Hmong people are also very spiritual people. Yeah. Like most of our urban legends are like based off of evil spirits and past dead people and everything like that. And that's just how a lot of things are revolved around sometimes. Yeah, even in the Haitian culture we have like good spirits and bad spirits. And I mean also, there's another thing for the Cuban culture, and I think this is probably true of other Latin American countries, but if you see money on the floor, you don't pick it up because that's like witchcraft. So
And I mean, I think it's also the same thing with if you see like a dead creature, you don't touch that because it's also like witchcraft. So I haven't touched anything like that or picked money from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then I think I'll go to story number 2.
Yep.
This one's a bit less graphic and evil ghost kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's very similar to like the Little Mermaid.
Ooh.
Little Mermaid story. So. Okay, so let's see what. Okay, so this I don't know what the direct translation of the title of the story is, but it's basically about a princess of the sea, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what the title is.
Yeah.
But basically, the princess of the sea. It starts out with this orphan boy. He was like crying, and he was crying about his misfortune and how he didn't really have that much, and he's like in a bad situation. And so like the princess of the sea sees this, and she feels bad for him. And she goes to meet him, and eventually they fall in love with each other, or she falls in love with him, and so she left the sea in order to be with him.
Ooh.
And after the marriage, it made him rich, and it made him a man of power, made him a man of prestige and nobility. And so there's this toad, or like this toad lady, and she's kind of like a witch. She can transform and whatever. She's kind of like the Ursula.
Ursula, yeah.
And she saw how much this princess of the sea loved the orphan boy, and she wanted the princess's life. And so the toad lady like transforms into a beautiful lady instead of like a toad lady. And she seduced her. She influenced the orphan boy, and he fell for her and left the princess.
The princess? What?
Wow, which is crazy. I know. Okay, so there's this part where the prince, after he fell in love with the toad lady, he cast the princess back into the sea. He cast the princess back into the sea because he is now with the toad lady.
Yeah, with the toad lady, yeah.
And so now he cast her back in the sea, and she kept on asking him to reconsider, but the princess, she cursed both. After going back into the sea, she cursed both the orphan boy and the toad lady. And as soon as and she says that as soon as she leaves, that the toad lady will reveal her true form, and by then the princess will be gone, and she'll no longer be able to help him, and he'll go back to being his old self, which is being an orphan. Yep. And then she finally left, and then everything turned back to how she said. And then he saw how ugly the lady was, the toad lady. Yeah. Okay, so there's like a disconnect between this part and the end.
Yeah.
But basically, the toad lady gets exiled to the moon.
To the moon?
Yeah, she gets exiled to the moon.
That is...
And tied to the moon for eternity.
Ooh.
And since some nights when you look at the moon, and then it's like a full moon, you can still see like the lady being tied to a tree in the moon. Wow. And then the moral of this story was just don't try to take happiness away from other people, and also don't take things for granted. Make sure you remember who you are, your roots, and don't become too full of yourself, I guess. And always be grateful of what you have.
Yeah, that is a very important one. Wow, hey, definitely looks can be deceiving, but I mean in this case that one lady used magic, so it's like, how do you compete with that?
I don't know. Sometimes in real life it's like magic.
Yeah, I guess so. Wait. Okay, let me see if I have one more thing. Do I have one more story or anything else? I don't think I do, but I guess I wanted to get now into the American.
Well, I have to say some of my superstitions.
Okay, go ahead.
Or some of the beliefs.
Yeah.
And so Okay, so I'll talk about the one I know the most.
Yeah.
And which is the one that happened to me
It
personally.
happened to you personally?
But nothing like evil happened.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, when I was younger,
Yeah.
I was at a funeral, and as a little kid, you just like were messing around and everything. So one of my cousins, I think, pushed me a little bit, and I like fell on the ground.
Ooh.
And so when you're at a funeral, you are not supposed to fall. Otherwise, it's like a sign of like your soul is also, your spirit's like also falling. Will also leave with the person who passed away. So like the person who's passed away, their spirit's going to the afterlife and everything like that. And then if you fall, you also, your spirit goes with that person. And so when I fell, I went to go tell my grandma and everything. And it was so scary because my grandma like grabbed me by the arm and started like walking to the shaman.
To the shaman?
And so I had this ceremony, bro. It was, I can't remember what it's like. I just remember it happened.
That is. Wait, so the little boy pushed you and you fell and you like hit your head or something?
No, I just straight up fall. Just fell. Like it's not like it's a dangerous fall.
Okay.
It's just like any kind of fall.
Oh. But you were on the floor, but you were conscious, were you? Or not?
Yeah, I was conscious.
Okay, and she just dragged you.
I like fell.
Yeah.
And then I went to go tell my grandma.
Oh,
that I fell.
yeah, but she did not know like, oh, it's not like you fainted or anything.
No.
Someone pushed you.
It doesn't matter if you
fall. Oh, it doesn't matter.
It just matters if you fall.
Oh.
At all.
Did like that like one spirit's trying to like tackle you.
Yeah. But like my grandma dragged me. I did this little thing and I was fine after that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a way to get kids to stop goofing around at a funeral. But it's also it is a very serious thing. It's a very serious matter. You need to be very respectful. You need to be very cautious about what happens at events like a funeral, especially when you're like at a monk funeral. They have a lot of traditions where you have to bow for certain rituals, and then there's people like playing I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of like an Asian bagpipe, and they like move in a certain way, and they play music in order to help guide like the spirit to the afterlife and everything like that. And so I could go into a little bit of detail like what we kind of do at funerals. Well, not like super into detail, but I have gone through experiences at a funeral where I can explain what kind of things happen. And then there's just a lot of other things where certain things mean good luck. We tie strings onto people's wrists at certain events, like their weddings and everything, or like the family of the deceased. You tie strings in order to give them good blessings for the future. Yeah. And then what are some other superstitions? Let me see what other beliefs.
There's a belief. I don't know if I remember hearing this one time, and I wasn't sure if it was in the Haitian culture, but I've heard that somewhere else, is that if a bird poops on your shoulder, that's good luck. I don't know where that comes from, but I heard that somewhere, and I'm like, wow. But yeah, you were.
This like one is like when you see a cute baby, or when you see like a baby with good qualities, you don't like compliment the baby or anything, because we're scared that the spirits will take the baby's soul, or make the baby sick or something like that, and you want to be able to protect the child, and so you have to say like kind of the opposite, so that it wards away spirits. So if like a baby's so cute and cuddly and looks so chunky, you have to be like, oh no, that baby looks not good.
Mel like nourished and ugly. What a malnourished and ugly baby we have here.
Then the evil spirits will be like, God dang.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. No, but actually, when you said that, I was gonna say in the Haitian culture, we have something similar. It's like people or like kids that have very beautiful, like features, I would say, or kids who are born like very beautiful kids. Sometimes the parents can give them like the ugliest names ever. Like I know a kid, his name is like ugly. Literally, his name is ugly, and he's not ugly at all. And there's someone I know. I don't know if it's because he was born ugly or something, but they named him ibuprofen.
What?
I don't know why.
Wait, what?
Yes, the name ibuprofen, and then there was someone else who they named her throw her away. Listen, man,
That's so.
I don't know. I mean, you could have picked a different name like cup, or bag or ring or something like that.
No, but what if it's like a good-looking? What if it's like a Gucci bag?
I know, right? Do like spirits want to have like Gucci? I don't know, but the next thing. Were you gonna say something else? Okay. The next thing I kind of wanted to talk about was
Yeah, I still have a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I still have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I still have some. Let's see. Other ones I can think of, just like there's just a lot of things where we do stuff in order to ward away different spirits.
Yeah.
One of the things that one of the things I have in my house.
Yeah.
It's like just there's like a dog.
Yeah.
Just hanging on like the porch. It's not like a real dog.
Yeah.
I feel like some people have thought it's a real dog and get really scared. Like, what the heck is going on? But it's just like a stuffed dog looking animal thing. And dogs are basically just a way of like protecting the house and warding away evil spirits from where we live.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that at my house we have. Let's see. So another thing is, so a lot of my aunts help me with this also. So if you ever go anywhere, like in Laos, if you are ever going somewhere, you never tell people exactly where you're going. Otherwise, like evil spirits will follow you there.
Oh.
And then they like evil spirits will hear you and go there and wait for you.
Yeah.
And so that's why you just say like, oh, I'm gonna go shopping or whatever.
I'm gonna go somewhere.
Yeah, and then you just go there.
Yeah.
And then evil spirits will not follow you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else like that in my cultures. I mean, there's definitely something like that. I mean, you don't tell. I mean, so sometimes people feel certain things. You don't really want to tell them. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is how is it that so Halloween is like such an interesting holiday. I think there are people that really like it. I don't know if it's because of the candy or just because you can dress up.
Yeah, because I can dress up. I dress up as superheroes.
Yeah, you can dress up as anything you want. But originally, it didn't have that like meaning. Originally, it meant something completely different. It comes from the Celtic culture, right? And what I was gonna say is, it's very interesting how some cultural things with time sort of deviate from their actual meaning and turn into like superstition, pretty much, or just turn into things that are what was the term that I used? Secular. Yes, like it just becomes something that has lost its original meaning, pretty much. And I mean, I think this is very it plays a lot, I guess, into why is it that some people can celebrate certain holidays and not, because they know what it really means. Like we know people, or at least my parents know people that won't celebrate Halloween because they think that's a devil's, day. When in the Celtic, it didn't have anything to do with the devil. It had just to do with the transition of season, the change from one life living and another one dying, And I think the cycle of life that is reflected from the Halloween holiday, that's the original way that it was, seen is a very important thing. Like I think it's important for people to recognize their ancestors, for them to be part of the cycle of life, or at least accept that, hey, one day you're gonna die, you're gonna go back to the ground, and the cycle will keep on going. And so it even reflects on maybe other holidays like Christmas, right? Like Christmas is originally the birth of Jesus Christ. Well, right now we are in like what, end of October, and I already see advertisements for Christmas. We're not even Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
That's how it works.
I know.
People get excited.
I know. And I mean, I guess certain things have lost their meaning and have been commercialized.
Yeah.
I would say. And I think that's where it kind of sucks because, I mean,
but then I also think that some of the things that these holidays stand for are important.
Yeah.
More than what originally was before. Like Christmas is now, like the modernized Christmas is just like joyful, a time of peace. Yeah. You don't want any kind of like negative things to happen during Christmas.
Yeah. But I mean, Christmas is also like about sharing too. Yep. I mean, if you share gifts, right?
It's like a very positive.
Yeah. But I mean, at times you can see people have like 2,000 gifts because they can. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, back then, people didn't have like 2,000 gifts.
Yeah, then it's like, oh my God, what is happening right now?
Yeah, like I guess that's the sense I mean. It is not as
the things that happen are way different than what originally.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, I think that certain holidays and traditions have a much more deeper meaning in certain aspects. I mean, definitely in how Christmas. I mean, let's talk about Christmas here. People share gifts. People buy tons of gifts, right? Consumerism is like through the roof, right?
That's our tradition.
Exactly. It's like buy. So I think that's where it has lost some of its meaning. It still stands there, like you can still see it there.
But some of the smaller parts of the holidays are no longer there.
Yeah, they're no longer there. And I think that's where it gets a little bit like, oh, yeah, this is not the same thing.
And that's where it really changes. It's like things that we do for Christmas are different than what used to be done.
Yeah, they're like
Christmas.
Norm for Christmas.
And also people all over the world do different things.
Yeah, they do different things.
Or people still do different things. But
I mean,
as a collective, it's like thought of much differently.
I mean, in Cuba, I remember my grandfather, if he would to give me something for Christmas, he would just hand it to me. Like, he wouldn't just, like, we didn't have a, like, chimney or anything. I was just giving it to me. Like, I knew he bought it. I never really believed in Santa Claus. Sorry if you guys still do believe in Santa Claus. I didn't. They just handed it to me.
Yeah, Santa Claus is a superstition.
He is a superstition. We could. I feel like we should do an episode like this for like Christmas.
No, we will.
Just talk about the history of Christmas. That would be pretty cool. But, that is.
We talked about some of our Halloween experiences.
Yeah, our Halloween experiences.
Like, Halloween is literally like one of my favorite holidays because I get to dress up as like some of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really like about Halloween. And also, you get free candy as a child.
Yeah.
But it's a way for me to feel like I am that character. And I've dressed up a lot as like Batman. I think I've dressed up as Batman like 3 times.
Dude, Batman is the GOAT.
And then I've dressed up as Superman. I've dressed up as Green Lantern.
Yeah.
As the Flash. Wolverine.
Yeah.
There were only a couple of times where I didn't dress up as like a superhero. Well, I did dress up as One Punch Man, which is not part of like DC or Marvel.
Oh, One Punch. That's cool.
I dressed up as One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And then I dressed up as one time just like as a pumpkin kind of like spooky thing.
Yeah.
And then another time where I just literally wore like a chrome mask with no face.
Ooh.
But I could still see through it.
Yeah.
That mask was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So like when I breathe, the chrome would come off. The chrome would come off, so it looked not good anymore after I used it, but it's okay.
I do remember like this was probably the first time and the only time I ever like trick or treated, right? I put a paper bag over my head, and this is something I like DIY'd because I didn't have any costume really. I took this paper bag, put holes on it, and then I put it over my head. And I took a raven, like it was one of those fake ravens, like dead ravens, and I pretty much just like took a like stick, put it through it, used some barbed wire or something to like attach it, and I just put it through my jacket into my shoulder, and it was just sitting there. And I don't know what was the connection. Someone thought I was either like a Green Bay Packers or some Packer fan or some team apparently put paper bags over their head if they lose, and I did not understand that reference. I still don't know what they were talking about. I was like, what? But it was pretty cool because that character, I really wanted to use it for the stories that I write. So it was pretty cool.
Also, one of the things that happens when you actually celebrate things is just the experience you have with other people is like one of the most important things. Yeah. I know when Halloween, one of the, like when I was in kindergarten, that Halloween, it was either kindergarten or first grade, but when I was younger, my best friend at the time, we figured out that we lived in each other's neighborhood through Halloween because he was getting candy and I was like giving out candy before I was gonna go, and I was like, what the heck? You live in the same neighborhood as me. And so it's just a good way of having like a community kind of connection.
Yeah. There's definitely some things when I guess when they lose their original meaning, they can create new meaning for other things. So it can be either good or bad, but I think that there's gonna definitely be some good meaning at the end of the day for changes. So
I wonder how many children just like the candy that comes out because our younger siblings probably went to go trick or treat.
My younger siblings went yesterday. There was a lot of like people.
Yeah, and I think my siblings already went too. And I know they love candy.
They love candy. Anyways, before we leave, we're gonna trick or treat.
we're gonna eat candy.
We're gonna eat candy, guys, because this is Halloween. So
and also my birthday.
Oh yes, it's Jake's birthday. I
completely forgot to mention
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, guys.
Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah, at the time that we're recording this, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
I just turned 20.
Yeah.
It's a new decade.
We are 20 together now. Feels weird.
Yeah.
But anyways. Very
Recap?
good candy.
Talked about some superstitions / beliefs from our cultures.
Yep.
And Halloween.
The origins of Halloween, its new meaning, and how it's been changed over time, pretty much. We also talked about different stories. Well, especially Jake. I had a few, but I didn't really have stories. I mostly had like cultural beliefs. Yeah. So
that's Thinkings.
Thinkings, and this is Rush Minute. Rush Minute.
You got to listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watch us on YouTube, so you can watch us dress up as Rush Minute.
Rush Minute, guys. And please, if you guys comment, drop a comment in our video, just let us know. This is for the previous episode on memory. If you guys want us to make a second part, we could definitely try to have a guest speaker in our podcast, someone who really knows about memory or maybe about the human mind, because we really thought about that. It could be pretty cool for people to maybe learn from a specialist. So, and let us just
give us feedback.
Just give us feedback on anything, really.
Please.
Yes, we need criticism.
You gotta watch the videos or listen to the podcast for my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you feel bad. If you don't, you're a bad person. No, just kidding.
That is Jake's birthday gift, you guys, please.
Yeah. All right.
So, Thinkings out.
That's Thinkings.
Rush Minute.
All right.